Hello, it is Tuesday, October 24th, 2023. I'm Chris Primo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It's a Tuesday crossword, which means we're going to be solving what should be a relatively approachable themed crossword today, an early week crossword. And this early week edition of the Daily Solve has been brought to us by Laura Sexton, Victoria Rojicka, Kathleen Quinn, and, as always, the indomitable Showmaster and the incredible Horan family. So thank you so much to the five of them. They are, of course, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign, and they are sustaining this series, bringing us these videos. I really do appreciate that. Thanks to them. Thanks to everybody who's a patron of the channel. You can become one if you're interested at patreon.com/dailysolve, where you can find all of the bonus videos available to patrons, as well as for benefactors, the Let's Check the Crosses official mug. Thank you again to everybody who does support the channel. And thanks if you're a subscriber on YouTube. That's a help, and do consider subscribing if you've been enjoying these videos. And finally, there's also the Daily Solve Discord chat server you can join, which is a nice, it's a friendly chat community, and there's a link in the description field to that as well. All right, so let's get on to today's crossword. This is, I think, the fourth crossword for the New York Times by Daniel Grinberg. So welcome back to him, and it was edited, as always, by Will Shorts. It is a Tuesday puzzle. There will be a theme. Let's find out what it is, and let's start solving. Reason for sneezing. An itch, maybe, or something, or a cold? Processed meat popular in Hawaiian cuisine. That would be SPAM, which I don't think is definitely an acronym, unlike what was claimed in a recent Connections puzzle. I think the origins of the word spam are shrouded in mystery. State capital north of Sacramento, California. State capital north of Sacramento, California. Why can I not think what this would be? Is it Salem, Oregon? Oh, maybe it is because we're putting the state abbreviation in there. Let's check the crosses, see if I'm completely off here. Better's Big Bluff, maybe. All in, you could go all in and be bluffing to sort of feign confidence. Blank ahead. Plow ahead, plan ahead, plan ahead. There we go. Moreover, also, you could say. Light spray. A mist would be a sort of a light spray. TV character George, who says, I'm disturbed, I'm depressed, I'm inadequate, I got it all. That sounds very much like George Costanza from Seinfeld. I suspect that is the answer. Let's check the crosses. Hood-like garment for a monk or Batman. Well, monks wear cowls, and Batman wears a cowl. All right, third largest Hawaiian island. It must be Oahu. That sounds right to me. And like some barrel-aged ales, oaky, from the oak barrel, I suppose, in which they've been aged. I wonder how is that a common thing to barrel-aged ales? I don't actually know. Anyway, to lash someone would be to whip them, presumably. Let's look at the cross here. Portlandia's segment would be a skit. Yes, that's a sketch, a sort of skit television show set in Portland, Oregon. Speaking of the state of Oregon, of which we have its capital here. Okay, an ancient stringed instrument, sometimes made from a turtle shell. Must be a lute. I don't think I've ever seen a turtle shell lute, but that sounds very charming. Breakup line from a vampire. You're not my type. So there we go. So this will be thematic somehow. I mean, obviously this is a reference to blood type. The vampire is breaking up and, don't care for your blood, essentially. But I don't know what that thematically is doing just yet. Is this going to be another theme clue? I don't know. Probably not. Keep it polite. Stay classy, I suppose. And then a mythological forest maiden would be a nymph, a forest nymph. So let's see if we can now get this top corner here. Undercover Boss Network. I have no idea. I mean, in three letters ending with an S, I suppose it could be CBS, TBS. I don't know. Can't think of any others offhand. Like a course for a horse. Oaty? I suppose horses eat oats, so a course, in other words, a meal for a horse could be oaty. It could be, containing oats. This is possibly the answer. Let's see. You are so funny. LMAO. So these these sort of match one another in the sense that the sort of lack of capitalization and the elision of words down to their kind of phonetic letters suggests a text, as does this. Okay, reason for sneezing. It is a cold. There we go. And Crimson Tide School to fans. This I have picked up from numerous references. I believe it is Bama for Alabama. And I think they say roll tide, I think is what they chant or what have you. Okay, Undercover Boss Network was CBS, so that was one of my guesses. Good. Specification on a park pass is, not sure. On a park pass, day. I assume this means you buy a pass to a national park or a state park or something, but I'm not sure. So it's a day pass, but I'm not sure what that U is doing there. Sly. I don't know. Spider-Man director Sam Raimi, is a film director, and he directed 3 Spider-Man films. Day USA? No idea. Sly, if you're sly, you're crafty. There we go. Okay. Breakup line from a werewolf. Okay, I see. So we have breakup lines from various sort of monstrous characters. So what do I think this is? A werewolf. I'm not sure. Can't think. Sorry if you're jumping straight to that. Blank takers, any takers. Pronounce a double R in Spanish, say. So, in Spanish that could well be a trill. So you'd sort of trill those R's. So I think that works there. Next to last chemical element alphabetically. Zinc must be. Yeah, must be zinc. In 4 letters, I would think. What would the last one be? I don't know. It might be one of those wacky elements like ytterbium. I mean, obviously not that alphabetically, but something like that. Draped garment for an opera goer or Batman. Very good. So we have 2 or Batman clues. That's a funny, ludicrous little touch. So a cape, I suppose, because an opera cape is a kind of classic garment for some reason, and Batman wears a cape for some reason also, I suppose. Not clear in either case why. Miata maker, I guess Batman's sort of I guess it's to sort of look like a bat, I guess. Miata maker. Mazda manufactures the model Miata. And doohickey is a gizmo, I suppose, a generic term for a thing, an object, a device. To finish with something would be to end on it or end at it, probably end on it. One might be put through the ringer, would be a mop. You could wring out a mop after mopping the floor. Okay, breakup line from a werewolf. What is this? Oh, change. It's time for a change or something like that because a werewolf changes its form. Time for a change. Yes, there we go. Okay, very clever. Nay's opposite, so you could vote yay or nay, for or against. And then wasabi pea is one of those little sort of dried peas with wasabi powder on the outside. Little snack. William Howard in the White House. William Howard Taft was a U.S. president. So there we go. Northwest Territories native. Inuit. So this is referring to someone who, is native to the Northwest Territories. Once faddish robot, I don't know why I felt the need to explain that. Once faddish robotic toy, a Furby, right. I remember when these were just unbelievably popular for, I don't know, maybe about 2 years. Gift of the wise men, myrrh, is one of the biblical gifts of the wise men to the infant Jesus. Many a makeshift swing is a tire swing. And then one whose taste buds may not crave buds. So I assume bud that capitalized there is referring to Budweiser. So, a beer snob, maybe someone who's sort of above drinking Budweiser because they prefer, craft beers or what have you. A bit of a beer snob, you could say, I guess. Breakup line from Frankenstein's monster. I was thinking of sort of there's someone else or something, I'm not sure. There's someone. I'm not sure just yet. Okay. Spanish wine, Rioja, the red wine. And then furniture hardwood, is alder used in furniture? Seems plausible. Let's see if I can confirm that. Office record keeper. And then here we have, the official poetic form of the New York Times crossword, the ode, taking pride of place directly in the center of the puzzle. Ode on a Grecian urn, classic. All right, so office record keeper, still not sure. What about this? Tom's frenemy in old cartoons. So Tom and Jerry are the classic cartoon pair who engage in ludicrous mid-century violence. And an office record keeper is a clerk or a clerk. There we go. So I still can't see this Frankenstein thing. Piglet's pal is Roo. So, wow, this is, I think, the third Roo reference we've had in the last, I don't know, maybe week or so. It's referring to characters from Winnie the Pooh. So Piglet, Pooh's friend, and then Roo, another of that whole crew, little kangaroo. Plant as seeds. To sow seeds is to plant them. Cities with wharves are port cities, so ports here. The spark is gone. I see. There's the Frankenstein's monster breakup line, because we associate Frankenstein coming to life with a sort of jolt of electricity, a spark of electricity there. Okay, very good. Spiritual sort. A mystic could be a spiritual sort. And that's correct. Right on? Yeah, that looks good. Here we have a muscle car that really drives them wild in a 1960s hit. GTO. Yeah, that's a song. And a common sort of car designation. Oh dear, that's wrong. Oh dear, that's wrong. Gotcha? I don't think that's right. Connector. A link or something. Breakup line from a mummy. Let's wrap this up. There we go, of course, because a mummy is wrapped up physically. So connector, maybe it is a link. And then terrible czar, Ivan the Terrible. There's that sort of sobriquet. Tied is even. So if you're tied in a match, you're even, scores even. Final emperor of the Julio-Claudian dynasty, Nero. Nero there. No, what am I doing? There we go, Nero. Third time's the charm, strangely. Root in Hawaiian cuisine, taro root is used in Hawaiian cuisine. And turning point would be a knob. So you literally, it is a point on a door, say, that you turn. Okay, trinkets are... not sure. Here we have testimony transcriber for short. That would be a steno for a stenographer. And word after V or crew. So this is referring to shirt collar types, I suppose. V-neck or crew neck shirt. You lose. I win, I guess. Simple as that. And when Blanche meets Stanley in A Streetcar Named Desire. So here we go. It is Act 1, and you don't need to know anything about A Streetcar Named Desire to get this, but it is often because I suppose, if not for I win, but often when stage productions are referred to, what ends up going in the grid is just Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, etc. So that's something you can often consider when you get that kind of clue. That's a relief. Phew. I guess you do need to know that it's a play, I suppose. Singer Braxton or Basil? Tony Braxton. Tony Basil? I'm not sure I know that person. Trinkets are tchotchkes. Right, so there's another, we had something else like that, a gizmo. I guess a gizmo and a tchotchke isn't quite the same. Tchotchke is sort of a, almost like a cheap souvenir or something. Oh dear, that's wrong. Oh, whoops, I spelled that incorrectly. Sorry. Tchotchkes. There we go. That's how you spell it. Okay. And good that I checked, because oh dear, that's wrong, is gosh no. And then Odyssey Peak Osa. Am I remembering that correctly? Let's see. Luau instruments informally are ukes, ukuleles. Chest muscles for short are pecs, pectoral muscles. And finally, music genre that influenced the Clash is ska. Okay, so there we go. So Odyssey, peak from the Odyssey would be Mount Osa. So there we go. Recollection was correct. And that's the crossword. there we have it. A nice, relatively gentle Tuesday puzzle, I think, with a nice fun theme. And as with yesterday, no revealer, just a straightforward set of clues. Although this one was more straightforward than yesterday's because these are straightforwardly puns in response to the clues, as opposed to yesterday we had to sort of figure out. We were looking at the second half of the answers and so on. So here was just one of these classic early week themes where we fill it out and we're just left with some charming little puns, and that's that. So let's go over them quickly. The breakup line from a vampire: "You're not my type." Breakup line from a werewolf: "Time for a change." Breakup line from Frankenstein's monster: "The spark is gone." And finally, the breakup line from a mummy. Let's wrap this up, as we have just wrapped up this puzzle and this video. So there we have it. That was a nice, concise Tuesday crossword today and associated video. Hope you enjoyed it. I will try and get back to the clues from previous day's puzzle. Hopefully I can get back to that tomorrow. So do always feel free to pull me up on things I've misstated or add further context, because I do like to read those when I have time. So hopefully tomorrow. In any case, thank you so much for joining me on today's video. Do return tomorrow for the Wednesday midweek mid-difficulty crossword. Hope you do, but until then, please do have an excellent remainder of your Tuesday. Take care.